The last part of 5.2 today that we're going to look at are definite integrals with natural log. And I want to talk about the difference between what if you're allowed to use a calculator versus what if you're not. Actually, even though natural log is not something you can really figure out in your head, they often put these on a non-calculator setting and ask you to leave your answer in terms of natural log. So that's what I want to really show you here. I know we all know how to use a calculator. That's not my concern. I really want to make sure you know how to write your answer if you can't. So a couple ways this could be asked. It could be asked just straightforward as an area-based question. So it'll ask for the area bounded by, gives you your function, gives you your boundaries. So this is just setting up your definite integral. So we're going from 0 to 3 of x over x squared plus 1. Now, obviously, if you had a calculator, you could just grab it right now, use your Math 9 feature. But they often, because they know how strong the calculator capabilities are, will not let you use a calculator in something like this. Instead, you're going to go through it by hand. So you're going to have x squared plus 1 as your u. Derivative is 2x, so you do have a 1/2 adjustment. This is a du over u integral. So you end up with 1/2 your natural log of x squared plus 1. The absolute value bars, again, are not very useful in this one because x squared plus 1 is always positive. They will help in a situation where you're putting something in that could be negative and allow you to then take the absolute value. So you actually do see the absolute value come into play a little more when you actually have numeric values to plug in. So you're going to plug in 3, so you get 1/2. The natural log of 3 squared plus 1 is 10, minus 1/2 the natural log of 1. You should know that the natural log of 1 is 0. That is an expectation of the AP test, of just your basic algebra knowledge, that anytime you have a log of 1, you just cross it out because it's 0. This is what I mean by what they'll expect if you don't have a calculator. Obviously, you have no idea what the natural log of 10 is, but they will ask you to keep your answer in this form. So they'll either have it as a multiple choice where they'll write your answer in this form, or in a free response where you just leave your answer in this form. What they'll do on Delta Math is they'll actually remind you that your answer should be in terms of natural logs. It'll even tell you like what natural logs it should be in terms of. So this would be one where it'd say something like, keep your answer in terms of the natural log of 10, something like that. That is an exact answer, and it really stops you from having to have a calculator and worrying about rounding and getting decimals. Delta Math has a whole section on these, and they're area-based questions, definite integral-based questions, and I saw this one, which I liked because it reviewed something from last chapter. This is an average value question. So it's wanting you to find the average value, which is the area. So you're going to integrate your given function from, in this case, 1 to 7, divided by the width of the interval. So average value from chapter 4 was area divided by width. Area is going to come from the definite integral. So this one is one, again, they want you to keep your answer in terms of natural logs and not decimal answers. So your u is going to be x minus 8. The derivative of x minus 8 is just 1 or dx, so no adjustment. Now this 2, I don't need it, so it's going to come to the front. So it's going to be 2 natural log of x minus 8. Here's where the absolute value actually impacts things here. So we're going from 1 to 7. So we're going to get 2 natural log of 7 minus 8 is negative 1. We're going to take the absolute value, so it's just going to be the natural log of 1, minus 2 natural log of 1 minus 8, which is negative 7. This one is going to go to 0 because, again, the natural log of 1 is 0. This one, we're going to leave it as negative 2, but we're going to write it as the natural log of 7. That's the one purpose of the absolute value, is to make sure you're not taking the natural log of something negative. And then in the end, you need to divide by the width. So this represents area. It's totally fine that it's negative. It's just talking about where it's located. And then we divide by the width. They may want you to reduce it. You could write it as negative 1/3 natural log of 7. That's what they mean by a constant times the natural log of 7. Your constant in this case ends up being negative 1/3. But that's how we deal with definite integrals with natural log. Again, you don't have to have a calculator because most of the problems can be written just as a natural log. Sometimes you end up with really simple ones where a lot of things cancel, but you end up usually with 1 or 2 natural log terms that you can write out. So those are definite integrals. So we know how to do basic integration, we know special cases, and now we are good with definite integrals.